The November 2024 meeting of the City of Scranton Zoning Hearing Board will now come to order. Will the secretary please take roll?
Board Member McDermott.
Present.
Board Member Morris.
Here.
Board Member Gattens.
Here.
Chairman Walsh.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the Pennsylvania State Sunshine Law, this board shall render its decision on each case either at the end of each hearing or within 45 days of the hearing. If you are to give testimony in a case, please come to the podium, raise your right hand, and wait to be sworn in. After being sworn in, state your name and address and proceed with your testimony. Also, anyone giving testimony who does not become a party to the case may obtain a written decision from the zoning office. I also have two announcements of law. If you are granted a variance or a special exception, you must wait 30 days from the date of our decision to obtain the necessary permits to start work. However, you may obtain a permit sooner by signing a waiver that any work done during that 30-day period is at your own risk. A favorable decision by this board shall expire 12 months from the date of said authorization in accordance with Section 111I of the zoning ordinance. If you fail to obtain the necessary permits or do not comply with any or all conditions of said authorization, you must seek an extension. Is there any remarks from the board?
No, sir.
Abraham, the tests and the verifications of the postings?
That is correct.
Okay. I believe the first two cases we're not hearing tonight, is that correct?
That is correct. Number one, Dartmouth EFH LLC, which is seeking a special exception for the city to recognize the property as a 4-unit property at 1321 Dartmouth Street, R-10 zone. They have withdrawn their application. They just withdrew it, so there's no date as to when they're going to come back or if they even do. And number two, 712 Harrison LLC seeks variance to convert personal care home into women's inpatient non-hospital transitional at 712 Harrison Avenue, R-10 zone. They decided to table their application until next month.
Okay. Perfect. Can we please call the third case, please?
Okay, we have Anisit Patel seeks special exception to convert duplex into a 4-unit home at 315, 317 Harrison Avenue, R-9 zone. Will you please step up?
Will you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Yes. So we have the duplex that I bought a month before. We are renovating the duplex. It has a big enough room to make it a 4-unit housing instead of 2 units. Since housing, if you rent it out to the people, it's not affordable if I just keep it 2 units. So that's the reason
If you
why
could speak up just for us a little bit. I'm having a hard time here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is the property at 315, 317 Harrison Avenue, and it's a duplex right now, and we are trying to convert it into 4 units. The reason to convert it into 4 units is to provide more affordable housing to the tenants, as if we just keep it as a 2 unit, it would be humongous house. Instead of having, if we have 4 units, it would be more affordable for the people to stay in.
Do you have any off-street parking?
Yes, we have off-street parking.
Whereabouts?
It's at 301 Harrison Avenue.
Do you own that lot?
No, we have a lease with the...
Do you have a copy of it?
Yes.
Can we see it, please?
Sure.
Now, who owns that? Is somebody close?
The next one.
Is that the one on the corner?
You could go back to the microphone, please. Do they use that for the building?
Yes, they do.
Yes. What is it?
Do they use that parking lot for their apartment building?
I'm not sure if they, but they do, I think. They
Well,
use,
I went up there today, assuming that was the one, and it was full, and you have no tenants in your building, and that lot is full. There was no parking available on that lot. So,
currently they're using some of the people that they're doing the back porch. They're working on the porch back on the back of the building. The 4 cars were parked over there. They are all people who are obtained permits to work on the back porch on the building. So that's why you see, and my car is over there sometimes when I'm at the site, and one of the other contractor is also there on the site.
okay.
I have a quick question. I can't see the paperwork, but how long is the lease for that parking on that lot?
It's 16 years until 2040.
What happens if that, well, I know the answer already, but if the person I gave the lease sells his building or sells that land, that lease is void?
I'm sorry, I didn't get
If the person that owns that lot, do they own the house right next to the lot?
Yes.
So if they sell that property and that lot goes with it, your lease is void. Am I correct?
I mean, we have a
We'd have
lease
to
in
look at
place.
the lease.
What's that?
We'd have to look at the lease.
Yeah, he's got it right here. We can take a quick look at it.
Yeah, I have one question with the parking lot. It looks like entrance and exit is off Harrison Avenue.
That's correct, sir.
And if you're coming out, going left on Harrison, that's a state road. Is that still allowed? I don't know, Dan, about the right-of-way. It just seems like it'd be a little dangerous because you have a traffic light, 50 feet away. People beat the traffic light, and if somebody's pulling out. And then on Linden Street, it looks like there was an entrance or an exit. You have bollards there, 4 of them blocking exit entrance.
I can
Are
work
they
with-
going to be removed, or you
Yeah,
have any
I can work with the
thoughts?
landlord to remove those if it's necessary.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at entrance off Harrison, exit on Linden.
Sure,
which
I'll
would
make
be
sure
safer.
that, when we go through this, I'll make sure that we speak to the landlord and he will take care of this.
How many apartments are in that house that the landlord for that?
It's 3 units only.
It's 3 units?
Yes.
And how many spots are in that lot altogether?
There are, I think, close to 10 parking space, easy. And they use only 3 to 4 cars. Or the current landlord, the current tenants, they have only 3 cars that they use.
Right, that's what I was getting at.
And we can take up 4.
Okay.
And if we need more, they can give us more parking over there.
Well, what's the square footage of these apartments that you're building?
I would have, him provide an answers related to the building because he has taken all the measurements so that way he can provide accurate information.
You can raise your right hand, please.
Sure, I do. Ed Goodfield.
So what's
Okay.
Mr. Walsh's question, what's the square footage of the apartments that he's putting in?
Each apartment would contain 1,200 square feet. The ceiling heights are about 9 feet. Some are a little bit more, some are a little bit less, but they're all above 8 feet.
Is there an egress from out of each apartment in the rear?
Yes, there's egress, there's 2 means of egress in front and rear of each apartment.
Okay.
I'm assuming 1,200 square feet, what's at least 2 bedrooms each? Is that what they are, 2 bedrooms?
Yes,
Are they utilizing the attic?
yes,
So on the first floor, you're going to have 2 units?
yes.
Second floor?
The way it's going to go is basement and first floor is 1 unit, and
You're using
second,
the basement?
yes. The basement has an egress door right out of the back.
Do you have any drawings of this on here?
I don't have drawings there, but I have a handwritten drawing here that gives you the idea of the square footages and measurements, if you want to see that.
When you said the first floor and basement is 1 unit, are they 1 unit on the first floor, 1 unit on the basement?
No.
1
no,
unit.
The basement.
First and basement is 1 unit?
Yes.
Okay, where are the other 3 units?
There's one on the right side, one on the left side.
Of
And the second floor.
the first floor?
Yeah, the first floor has one on the right and one on the left. And they're each 1,200 square feet.
So the attic, so there's going to be 2 on the second floor. So on the left side, it's going to be second floor and attic. Right side, second floor and attic.
Correct.
And there's an exit out of that attic?
Yes.
How many windows are in the basement? Are they ground level windows like most houses that age?
You can walk straight out to the ground. Actually, when you come out of that basement, you got to go down 2 steps to hit the ground.
How about on the side?
There's windows on the side, and there's no windows in the front. The front is underground, or there's a porch over the top. The basement, the way that I have drawn it, is there's a bedroom or living area in the back with the door to the outside, and the other part is storage.
Do you have your drawing so we can see it?
Sure.
Dan, did you see anything on that lease that looked out of the ordinary, or?
I don't see that it's, if the tenant sells, I mean, if the landlord sells, that it continues. There's nothing in here that says it would continue.
So if he loses that parking, what would happen in the future with that? Would he,
No, we'd have to revert it back to a 2-unit house. We'd have to revoke the 4-unit, if you grant it to start with, contingent on the parking. Now, this is a special exception, so it's under 6.3 of the code. And conditions for approval is under 6.3C.
I do have a quick question. Hypothetically, if if the lease was to break, let's say they sell it, do they have a grace period in order to try to figure something out, or is it immediately revoked?
Well, technically, it's immediately revoked, but we would certainly give them a grace period to get a new lease.
Can I say one thing? We can have a first right of refusal on the lease. That way, whenever it comes available for sale, we would be the first person to retain it. And if we decline it, then they can go to someone else. So that way, we are the one who has the first right of refusal on the land whenever it's available for sale.
Dan, as far as the basement being used, is there any issues with having the apartment in the basement?
Well, it's technically a two-floor apartment.
Okay.
Basement and first floor is one apartment. So there's no problem with that.
I'd like to see that lease amended before we vote on this, to show that he has the right to first refusal of it if it goes for sale. So I'd like to see have that by your landlord for that property, have that lease amended and come back next month.
It could be solved by changing the lease agreement to say that it's between the landlord and its successors and assigns, so that it runs with the land as opposed to just a lease between landlord and tenant.
Right.
It would bind the landlord's successors and assigns. But the landlord obviously would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you understand what he's saying?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, Shawn, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that, I mean, are we able to vote on it tonight, and then
Yeah.
if he would have to turn in that new lease to you guys, or do we continue to the next meeting?
You can vote on it with the condition that he gets the amendment to the lease agreement. and it's not, our approval obviously is conditioned on that, so it doesn't, it's not an approval until he comes in with that amended lease.
Just one more quick question. Was that house condemned?
No, it wasn't condemned.
Okay.
It was just in a bad shape, so.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I go by there every
So
day. I just wasn't
It's
sure.
not condemned, and we are making sure it's going to look nice, and it's going to be nice for the neighborhood as well. And we live down the street as well on 1432 Linden Street, so it's right up the block. We live there as well, so that's the reason we purchased this property. And I will make sure that, if you give us a conditional approval, I will make sure that I'll bring the lease with amendments and have it submitted to the zoning
And
department.
if you didn't understand what they were looking for, you can call Abram tomorrow.
Sure,
and
definitely,
he'll
100%.
He'll explain exactly what that lease needs to say, and
Sure, 100%. Whatever the wordings are needed, I'll make sure that it's there. I tried to first buy the land from the current landlord, and it didn't work out, and he was ready to work with me on the leasing it. That's why we're leasing. Otherwise, first option was to buy the land, but he refused it to me. The first lease.
is there anyone in the audience here to give testimony on this case? There's not. Good. Make a motion.
I'd just like one condition, the entrance only on Harrison Avenue and exit on Linden only.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do that. That's not his land.
I think you can make that.
He's using that as a parking lot for this project.
One time that used to have a driveway that went all the way down to the alley down there, and because it was outdated, I thought it was a Mac machine at one time in there.
Right, I think that those volumes went up when the Mac machine was closed. They have volumes on both sides, 'cause when the bank still owns it, they didn't let anybody on.
So the entrance would be on Harrison and the exit onto what, Linden?
And I guess if we went back and had that, pulled the permit from when the ATM was there, that was probably the condition.
Also, the amendment of the lease. Second.
Second it.
Board Member McDermott,
Yes.
Board Member Morris,
Yes.
Board Member Gattens,
Yes.
Chairman Walsh.
Yes, vote of 4-0. Good, you're approved. Good luck.
Thank you, officers. Thank you.
You're technically not approved till you produce it.
To the condition that we have, and we'll make sure we'll get that over to the board.
Yes, it's tablet.
You'll do a better job.
There it is. Thank you, sir.
Could we call the fourth case, please?
Next up, we have 1320 Prospect Avenue, LLC seeks variance to update record to recognize property as a 4-unit home instead of a 2-unit home at 1320 Prospect Avenue, R-9. Will you please step up?
Good evening. Jean-Louis, I'm sorry. Yes. Good evening.
You may proceed.
Well, you state your full name, please.
Yes, Jean-Louis Warburger, the Jeanlouis, and then Warburger, Vorburger.
And are you the owner of 1320 Prospect Avenue, LLC?
Yes.
Okay, you may proceed.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So we purchased the house a few years back.
Pull that microphone over to you.
I'm sorry. We purchased the house a few years back from a gentleman, and he had two tenants living there. There are 4 apartments, one on the top and one in the rear. They were rented, and the 2 other ones he was using himself, one for him and one for his daughter and her family. And lately, when I asked for the rental certificate, I fill it out and I apply for the rental certificate for 4, and then the person sends it back saying it's only registered for 2. So I am coming here just to correct the record that there are four apartments there, and not only two. So that's the reason, and there's plenty of parking around, and so that's the reason I'm here.
The 4 units that you say are in there, what's in the very front of the building? Is that an apartment?
The very front, so there's one on the top,
Right.
there's one in the front, there's one behind, and then there's the rear one.
So in the front of the building, you're saying there's apartment as soon as you go through that front door. So that wasn't an apartment before. That was a printing shop before.
Yeah,
So
but
the
that
gentleman
was-
you bought it off of, that wasn't an apartment,
But not, when we bought it, it was already an apartment.
was it?
So because I understand the gentleman bought it from a friend, whatever, from the printing shop, and that's the reason there is not a loading dock, sort of a
There
thing.
used to be a restaurant at one time too.
Right, and we are not in a business. We are not doing any commercial activity.
Now, do you own the house or the structures on each side of this? Do you own the one on the corner? It used to be the old bar?
Yes,
And
correct.
the one to the right of it?
Yes.
And these apartments you're going to rent out, are you renting them out as separate rooms, as you do to the one to the right? Or are these going to be full, regular apartments that you're putting in here?
No, they are rented as legally, like, because we had just one of another building. Mr. Negron, Abraham Negron, came to see that we are doing everything on a legal
Well,
way.
I'm not saying it's illegal, I just wondered if you're going to rent them out as basically, I know it's a sort of
So-
a recovery house that you have.
No, so to answer your question, it depends. Some of the apartments are, for example, the one upstairs and the one in the rear, they are families, and the two in the middle are roommates.
Okay. In the parking lot that's to the rear of it, well, to the side, I'll say, there's really nothing in the rear. I know you have an underground garage there, under the building garage door, I see there. So your parking is off to the side in the rear, behind that carport that's there.
Correct. And then we own also the lot behind 533 Cherry Street for parking, as additional parking as well. So we have plenty of, in terms of parking, we have plenty of parking.
Yeah.
So how does the roommate, I'm not understanding, you say there's a roommate apartment, how does that
No,
work?
No, it's not a rooming, no. People, there's one lease, and there are people who live together. They come in and they come as a group.
Like, what's a group?
Excuse me?
How many's in a group?
Maximum of 4. Sometimes it depends on the size. Sometimes it's only 2, sometimes it's 3, and maximum 4.
And Abram, he's saying that you've been out to look at these places?
I've been out to his other properties. I don't believe I've been to this one specifically, if I don't remember correctly. But the other properties I went to, he kind of has like the same thing going on, where he has like what he explained. He has four people under one lease in one unit, or in each unit.
Are they, well, we opened the door, let's ask it then. Are they sharing a kitchen? All these different, we're going to say in this house, are you going to do the same thing where you're going to have roommate-type apartments in this house?
He said 2 of them are going to be,
2 of them?
yeah.
Two of them.
And are they sharing a kitchen?
Correct, yes. And it's,
So,
How many kitchens are in there?
in total, there are 4, because there are 4 apartments, so there are 4 kitchens.
So you're saying each unit will have
Each unit has its own kitchen.
its own kitchen,
In
and then
in each unit
And-
is
yeah,
one
so
kitchen.
that in each unit, you're saying that the people that you're going to be renting out to, roommates, but under one lease. Is that right?
Yeah, the maximum 4
Yeah.
roommates in one unit.
Under one lease.
Yes, and it's one kitchen, and yes.
okay.
Dan, how does that fly as far as one lease? One person leave, one person goes? It seems like
Then you need a new lease.
every time someone leaves, you need a
Every
new
time
lease.
someone leaves and somebody else comes in, or amendment to the other lease.
Yeah, we had this problem with one over in West
Right, I
Scranton.
remember
Yeah.
that.
4 unrelated people are allowed,
Are
Right.
allowed.
As long as we know it's 4.
and they have one lease.
Now, Bob, Mr. Gattens, you said recovery house? Is that you said?
Well, I don't know what term you want to use for them. I know when the printing shop was there, I used to go there an awful lot for various printing needs for Narrock Park. And I was on the assumption that that's what it was, kind of your property to the right of this years ago or a couple years back was kind of a recovery center, that you took a lot of...
Not by us. I don't know if it was before, but we do not have a recovery
Okay.
place.
How long did you own that house to the right?
To the right,
Ballpark. I'm not trying to pin you down to
I
exactly
don't know,
your...
4 or 5 years, I would say.
That's it,
6,
huh?
yes.
Okay, I'm good.
Good. Is there anyone else here to give testimony in this case? There is not.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Board Member McDermott?
No.
Board Member Morris?
Yes.
Board Member Gattens?
No.
Chairman Walsh?
Yes. Tied vote is turned down, correct?
Correct.
Unfortunately, you've been turned down, sir.
All right. So, and may I ask the reason or not? Or?
You could appeal the decision.
Now, he could ask the reason that you turned it down.
Yeah.
Should be part of the record anyway.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No, hold on.
hang
He's
on.
going to respond to you.
I can respond why I voted no. I can't, respond for anybody else. I voted no because I know the circumstances that are there. The house wasn't set up for 4 apartments. I mean, if there's illegal apartments in there, they were illegal because it wasn't that way before. I just don't think, it just doesn't meet what I feel it needs. I mean, to me, it didn't meet the need for the variance. It's not economical. You didn't show any hardship on it to either keep that the way they are. So I just felt you didn't meet all the needs for a variance in this one here, especially the hardship need.
I have a lot of trouble here. I'm sorry, I have a lot of trouble hearing you. So,
I just felt, on my no vote, I felt you didn't meet the needs that are required to get a variance. Like, there's no hardship if it stayed the way it is. You're trying to get it, is it recognized for 4? Is that what we're looking at? But they're not legal. Yeah, they're illegal apartments. So, I mean, there might be 4, it could have been 10 in there that the guy before you put in there, but the building is only listed for 2 apartments. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can appeal this decision. Yeah, I know, but my job's not to bail you out for buying that. You know what I mean? Maybe you should look into it before to find out what it was on the lease. I mean, evidently you took the word of the person selling it to you or the realtor who you went through. But my job on this board isn't to bail people out if they made a mistake in the purchase they made. So you bought it with an assumption that it could be 4 or is 4, when technically on black and white on the paper it's only listed as 2. You'd have to appeal this decision.
Either appeal the decision or make it back to 2 units. I understand the appeal, but it makes no sense. It's a big structure, and even if it was a pretty big shop before.
Unfortunately, we already voted, so it's not going to change now. He gave his reason why he voted no. Did you want to speak why you voted no?
No, I voted no because of the lease being 1 lease, 4 people, and like 2 can leave, 2 more come in, 4 or 3 leave. You have 1 person on the hook for the lease for a month or 2. It just was not a hard decision, but it's just a
Gray area.
Yeah, it's just a lot of gray areas, just too much gray areas.
So at this point, we gave our answer, as Mr. Walsh said. We voted. It was
You can
turned down.
appeal our decision, though.
Yeah.
You have the right to appeal our decision.
All right, we have to move on to our next case.
And you could make those arguments at the appeal.
I'd give Abraham a call tomorrow at the zoning office, and he'll be able to fill you in what you need to do.
Yeah, you're going to need a lawyer to appeal it.
You'll get a written finding and decisions that'll explain what the reasoning was. The transcript will be available if you want to request it.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Antonio Cordero Mendez seeks variance to place a 28 by 50 garage on a vacant lot at 326, 328 South 10th Street, R-10 zone. Could you please step up?
Okay, sorry, just look at my page. You can you could all three raise your right hand if you're gonna talk. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Evans. We are seeking a variance for 320, I'm sorry, 320.
Pull the mic, we didn't hear you.
We're seeking a
All right,
variance for
give us your name and everything.
Jennifer Evans. And we're here seeking a variance for 326, 328 10th Avenue in Scranton. And I'm going to speak on behalf of my father, Bruce Evans, because it's actually for him, myself, and my mother. His name was added to the deed of the property on September 11th of 2024.
Your father's name was added to the deed?
Yes, I don't know if you guys need to see it.
Sure, you can bring it up.
And we recently had handed in paperwork for myself, my father, my mother, and my son as well, for medical paperwork. Because in that whole entire alleyway, you cannot legally park there.
So you were here before us in the past, and
Yes.
you guys didn't live there, is that what it was?
No, that's what previous neighbors were saying, that, like, they still live there, but we have no communication with them at all.
Okay.
But yes, I do live there.
Okay, then why is your application saying Price Street on it again?
That's him, because he's originally the one who bought the property. He's
So-
the father of my children.
But
And-
he doesn't live there, so,
No,
but he owns the property, you don't.
no, but that's why we added my dad to it, because that was part of the problem, we believed, was that no one lived within 50 feet. Like, Antonio didn't live within 50 feet, but myself, my father, my mother, my aunt and uncle who live next door, who also have medical disabilities that need it, we all live within 75 to 50 feet of the property.
I'll
That
be
is-
honest with you, I don't look
Yes.
at your medical records because it's none of my business. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I know.
I'm not a doctor to look at them things,
No, I know.
so I didn't look at them. It's not going to play in my decision, I'll be honest with you.
So what do you need the garage for?
Pretty much it's for parking in the front because, as I said, with 336 South Edwards Court, there's only one parking. And you have pretty much 5 of us that drive vehicles. Where are we going to park? We legally cannot park in the alleyway. You shouldn't park in the alleyway because then people have trouble coming up and down the alleyway. And God forbid there's ever a fire there. The people who live in the middle, which would be my aunt's side, there's a red house, 2 other houses, there's no way a fire truck is getting through there. So if you add 5 more vehicles to that parking area, they're screwed.
So you have on here parking pad / garage, so are you looking to do either or?
Well, we would like the garage and then have a parking pad out the front of it.
So the parking pad's going for people to park on as well?
Yes.
So then why do you need a 50-foot garage then if you only have 3 cars going on the inside and 2 on the outside?
It would be pretty much to have like snow blower, things like that to be stored there as well. I mean, to have even smaller garage, it really wouldn't matter. I don't know how to measure, I'll be honest. I don't.
I couldn't understand what you said.
I'm not very good at feet. To me, I could tell you you're 5 feet and you're really 3 or 4, so.
Well,
Well, what size is that lot?
I believe it is 150 deep, like lengthwise, and it's by, I think it says 45? 40, 35? Well, you guys would know, I don't know.
I think what our concern is, and it was the last time, having such a big garage on just for 3 parking spots. I think if we were to cut that garage back a little bit to maybe like 30 feet, 24 to 30 feet long would be sufficient for at least 3 cars.
Okay, that's fine, and then we would still have like the parking pad, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm not saying you're approved, I'm just saying
No,
that's
I
just,
know, I
that's
get
just
what
my
you're saying.
opinion. Anyone else have an opinion?
Well, actually, we have pictures. We're going to make it more look like a home coming from 10th Avenue side, have a porch, windows, a nice door, make it look more homey from the front and the sides, of course. Sure.
And the location of the garage on the lot, is it going to be closer to the alley, closer to the front?
It would be more from the front. I believe it said that we had to have, I think it was 15, if I believe. I actually have papers here that say how far in it would have to be, and then the back would be,
That's how you'd access the garage through
is
the alley?
only through the back, yes. You can't access it from the front because
So
it
the garage
sits
would be
up.
close to the front of the lot?
Yeah, that's why we're going to make it more look like a home with the
the
front
front?
porch. Yeah.
Because currently, right now, when I went by, there's 6 vehicles parked on the lot and 1 trailer.
That's because we have
So if you
nowhere
move
to
the
park.
garage, if you're planning on putting the garage towards the street,
Yes,
that leaves you more room for 6 more vehicles and a trailer to park on the lot
Well, in our-
besides the garage.
yes. In our house, we have 5. There's 5 drivers. We actually have a 15-year-old coming up on 16. Then my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, and that too as well, because again, they have no parking at all next door to them.
Is there anyone here to give testimony on this?
Jeff, probably gonna go in the back.
Can you raise your right hand, please?
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Michael Mancini, Scranton. Gentlemen, I'm part of West Scranton Crime Watch, and I'm part of our Blight unit. We're the only Crime Watch unit in Scranton, biggest part of the city. This property has been brought to our attention. A few of us also have gone to prior zoning meetings regarding this same very issue. Initially, this property was going to be with a variance exception of 100 by 50. So first of all, that questions the motive, in my opinion. With my experience originating mortgages for 16 years, you know, something that size would change the characteristic of the neighborhood. Initially, they wanted to reduce it to 50, and then it was declined. They're looking to basically do the same thing once again. I personally took a look at this property, and I saw 7 vehicles at one time. I am familiar with the neighborhood. I grew up in West Scranton, very familiar with the area and that alley itself. If they purchased the property in that alley, they knew firsthand by just going down the alley and looking at the property that there wasn't enough cars to park in that alley. You know, granted, they have that other property, but this also, with this Price Street that was in question, I had a few conversations with Mr. Negron from zoning regarding the condition of them, and I believe that code enforcement did go out to the Price Street property. There were, I believe, 6 or 7 cars on that property. One of my concerns personally is that they're going to take those cars from that property and put it over onto 10/ the back of South Decker Court. You know, so in my opinion, I feel that this should actually be declined simply because they don't know how to take care of things. Thank you.
Sir, before you step down, how do you feel about like knocking it down to like 30, like a normal garage?
How about 24 by 24?
Well, that's,
You know, you're looking at 3 cars, what are they, 6 by 8 each
I mean,
spot?
9 by 18 is a parking spot. You would need a little bit more than 24.
Okay, well, I would also like to question their motive when you come to your conclusion and your decision based upon the facts this evening that, you know, their initial input and want was a much bigger reach than this. So in my opinion, it just questions their initial motive. I feel as if you give them a pad in the back, they're just going to start stacking cars there, and we're going to have a problem with code enforcement like we do with many other properties here in Scranton.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to see that garage pushed to the street too much, because I think we're creating a problem with storage on that pad then. I'd
I
rather
think
see,
the pad could only be as wide as the garage. And
well,
maybe
why is it and only,
car length long.
whatever the code calls for, it's set back off that alley. I'm not sure how far that is. Don, do you know?
Typically for a garage, the setback's only 5 feet, so this is a little different situation because this will be the principal structure. Personally, I would prefer to see the garage set back from 10th Avenue far enough so that if sometime in the future somebody decided, I
house
want to
on
buy that lot, put a house on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, from the alley, I don't want to create a 20-foot buffer zone between the alley and that garage. That's going to become a dumping ground for cars, and cars being repaired out there or anything. And to echo this gentleman's sentiment, I agree with him on parts of it, because it started out 100, and I looked at this just a little while ago, what I had from before. It's to store antique cars and all this stuff, and then went down to 50. And I didn't feel at that time that we were being 100% clear on what was being told to us. And just because this gentleman's name was put on that lease, it doesn't change what the request is here. I'm not comfortable with this. I just feel that if we make this garage too big, it's going to become just a nuisance property, going back to what the original request was. And I think we all felt that there's going to be repairs being done in there and stuff. And we're trying to reestablish neighborhoods and everything like that, and this is just a gray area for me. So that's all I have to say.
Well, could I speak on a little bit of what he was talking about? When he was speaking about about all the cars parking there and having my father and myself have lived in that home for over 30 years. Okay?
And back then, wasn't that much cars around.
There wasn't that much
That's
cars.
why I picked it's a good location, right? And you're talking about 30 years, 35 years ago.
Sir, we're going to have to swear you in before you...
Sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me on that one.
He was sworn in.
Oh, he was sworn in?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
hear him. Okay.
I bought the house about 35 years ago. 35 years ago, right, less cars, all that. Now, look at all the cars driving on, these young kids, everybody. And like he made a comment, something about they should have looked in before they bought. 35 years ago, right, hardly no cars on the roads, compared to now. Now we're in park. Down on 10th Street, I got all them cars down there. There's what, 3 or 4 cars per family. There's no place to park.
Yeah.
No, and 35 years ago and compared to now is whole different ballgames. You know what I mean?
Also on that, we also had neighbors, 2 neighbors that were also parking on our spot, that we put a stop to that as well. They would come and have people park there. When they would get visitors as well, we put a stop to that. So, like, you know, we had that was empty since 2011, that property was. And pretty much the yellow house, which is Luzerne Street, the other house next to it, everybody parked there beforehand. And he did not buy it until 2021. So like it was just everybody parked there. You had 2 different houses that pulled there when they would have company, that's where they parked. And as far as working on cars, it's not us that works on cars. It's actually the neighbor next door to it that works on vehicles.
I'm not saying you did, but when you came before us the original time, you requested,
Yeah.
I'd say 50 by 100, whatever it was. It just, for a couple cars, it just seemed like an awful oversized building that you need us, just to store a couple cars. So it threw up a red flag, and I'm not speaking for
Yeah,
the
we
board, I'm
fully
speaking for myself.
100% agree with you.
I still think 50 is too deep on this. I think I'd be a little more receptive, say, to a 30-foot wide, and this way,
So I think we stick to the 28 wide, 30
28.
deep. And then, Mr. King, I know they want a parking pad, and I agree with you of keeping it towards the rear. So what would you think would be a good, I know they're looking for a parking pad, obviously, before the garage door, like,
I would say no more than 30 feet back from the alley, 25.
I was going to say 20.
Yeah, 20, and that gives them a decent,
I was going to say 15, because
Well,
the car's not parking in that alley.
15, you'd still have some hanging out in the alley.
Well, we'll go 17.
18 is a parking, yeah.
yeah, the lot's 42 feet wide, so if you have, say, 40, give a little space on each end, 40 by 20, that gives you 4 parking spots in front of, say, in front of the garage door.
Right. Dan, can we make that a stipulation? The garage could be no larger than 28 by 30?
Yes.
And then the garage cannot be pushed back farther than 20 feet from the rear.
From the rear property line.
All right, I'm confused on that one because they have to be 15 feet from the front and 25 feet from the rear. That's the setbacks in an R10.
25?
25 from the rear, and 15 from the front. So,
Dan, is that for a principal structure?
yes, which this is.
Yeah.
Okay, 25 it is then. Unless we give a...
I'd ask the board to put a stipulation on too, that no junk cars
No
on
storage
the
of any kind
property
on
and
it.
no repairs on the property.
Yeah.
Yes, could we add all that and...
No junk cars, no repairs, 28 by 30. Now, let's get into where this is being situated. How deep is the lot down?
42 by 150.
150. Okay, so if you're 15 feet away from the front, and then you have a 28-foot garage, you have 43 feet, you still have 107 feet to work with in the back.
Right.
If you push it back further than the 15 feet from the front, you're eating into that 107. So now
Well,
the
I
question
think
is,
we
where do you
want to
want
push back, we want
Yeah,
to...
we want this on Edwards Court, closer to Edwards
You want
Court.
it closer to the rear?
Just in
Yeah.
case, like Mr. King said, somebody in the future did want to
And
put a home
how
on the...
far do you want to be from the front?
We were thinking 20.
20 feet off the alley line there.
No, I'm talking from the front.
Well, whatever it comes out to be, so if it's,
Let's see. 72 feet from the front?
If you're 72 feet from the front and a 20-foot, that gives you 50 feet in the back.
Let me see, 70.
30-foot building.
Well, you got 72, then you got 30 for the depth of the building.
Right.
Is 102. Yeah, no, so that's 92 from the front.
Right.
Yeah, you want,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have something quick to say, sir?
Yeah, there's properties on Luzerne Street, and they actually bought the back of that property. I believe there's 2 of them. Now, on the other side, the adjacent side to the left, if you're looking at it from South Decker Court, there's a house there, but there's a yard in between. Where are you going to structure, where are you going to situate this garage? Is it going to be centered, or could it be pushed over to the left a little?
There's setbacks for that, too. Is it still 12 on the sides?
And it's only 5 for a...
Five for a
In
garage.
an
typically.
Well,
R10,
they're going to have more than enough, so why can't we just call for it to
5
be
on each-
centered?
5
So
on each
they got
side, so
28.
that's 10.
Yeah. So we can center it on the lot, the structure.
Yeah, if you could center it, that way it's not on one side or the other side impeding somebody's view, because it's still a big structure. Thank you.
If we could add that, Dan, to be centered on the lot, please.
Got it.
Center from the side property. So what we have so far, we found is, we're setting the building.
Mike?
We're setting the rear of the building 92 feet from the street front property line.
So 92 feet from the front,
Okay.
30-foot structure is 122. That leaves 28 feet for the pad in the back.
That's too much.
Yeah. Let's pull it back another 10 feet. Take it back 102
Shouldn't be that
feet
hard
from
to
the.
figure out.
Well, that's why I'm reading it to you guys.
I know. So can we pull it back another 10 feet, take it back to 102 feet? 30 feet for the building is 132.
30, that's 50.
That leaves 18 feet for the
There,
pad.
there it is right there.
So, no, but we're going to do 20, so that would be 100 then, right? 100 makes
Yeah, 100 will give you the,
20, because you want to have just a little bit of a,
yeah. It's 150 deep, right?
no, 140.
142
It's 140.
depth.
I mean, the property itself.
The property itself is, no, you're right, 150.
That's about the
Yep.
standard property.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be 100 from the front, Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah, 30 and 20.
that's what that's
All
where
right.
I was wrong.
So the condition said it's going to set back 100 feet from the front property line. It's going to be centered on the lot, on the side property lines. And, Mr. Chairman, we said that the pad would only be the width of the building?
Correct.
Okay. No parking on the side of the building or like off the pad, nothing to be parked in the grass or gravel or whatever you're going to put there. You putting exterior lighting on this of any kind?
Yes, we do plan on it.
Okay. As long as the lighting doesn't intrude on your neighbors or anything, make sure the light is
It's going to be like a soft light, just enough so that you
Yep.
can see.
okay. And again, to what Mr. Walsh, Chairman, said, no storage of any cars on the pad, on the outside of that building. No work to be done.
Well, you could park on the pad outside. Just,
No storing cars.
Right, and then no unregistered vehicles and,
No repairs on the pad and no repairs of vehicles inside the building.
Okay, that's not a problem.
Okay. Did I miss anything, Shawn?
I think we're good.
Okay. I'll make a motion.
Second?
Board Member McDermott?
Yes.
Board Member Morris?
Yes.
Board Member Gattens?
Yes.
Chairman Walsh?
Yes, vote of 4-0. Good luck with it.
Thank
You're
you
approved.
very much, guys.
You guys have a good night.
Yeah, we need that, we need the deed back.
Your deed, your copy of your deed and your plans are here too. Did you want these, sir?
Okay, good, thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
My name is Shawn Walsh, address 2821 Cedar Avenue, Scranton, PA, 18505.
I also have to say this is a Shawn Walsh seeks special exception to convert towing business into an auto repair and sales business at 914 Robinson Street, R-11 zone.
I don't know if we need to add it. It's 910, 912, and 914.
Three separate lots?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I
a
was
big
gonna ask.
building. Yeah.
I'm looking to operate a repair facility and a used car dealership, small one on 914 Robinson. There's 4 garage doors that are currently there. We're looking to park about 15 cars for sale on the outside with some customer parking for the repair work on the side of the building. There's existing LED lights that surround the building. We're not going to add any other additional lights than what's on the building currently. There will be a sign attached to the front of the building with the business name on it. Pretty basic, guys, nothing fancy.
What will hours be?
What's the hours of the operation?
9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 Saturday. Closed on Sundays.
How many cars will they be having there for sale?
Approximately 15.
15, sir? Okay. And is there going to be repairs being done in that garage?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Are you going to have any area that's fenced in where you might have used tires, parts?
No. No.
This is a change from one non-conforming use to another. So that's under Article 9, number E, on page 141 of your book. And it gives you the criteria that it can be changed from one non-conforming use to another as long as the board is okay with traffic, noise, dust, fumes, mounted character of the outdoor storage, hours of operation, and compatibility with the surrounding area.
And Mr. Walsh, what was that before?
It was a towing business.
Okay, so it did have vehicles stored there and
Yes, it
and
did.
trucks stored there, yeah. I don't think there's any homes in a close range there, maybe up
There
Cabrini
is,
Avenue.
there's none. There's,
possibly.
if you're looking at the building to the left, I think they give out food out of that facility,
Yeah.
I believe. I
it's
believe that's the
UNC
only building that's near the structure.
Yeah, I think that's a mixed, if I remember correctly, it's like a mixed use. There's like a nonprofit in the bottom and apartments upstairs on that corner, and then across the street from it is apartments. We did an inspection not too long ago for it's like a 6-unit building that's across the street from that mixed use.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit more down, so like a little bit more down the hill.
They're away,
I
they're
don't
away
see
from
it.
this property.
I don't see it generating any more traffic than what's already on that street.
It's going to be a small operation.
Yeah, they're not going to park on the street, Mr. Walsh.
No, they're not.
Okay. That's all I have.
Is there anybody here in the audience who would like to speak?
Make a motion?
Second?
Board Member McDermott,
Yes.
Board Member Morris,
Yes.
Board Member Gattens,
Yes.
Chairman Walsh.
Can't vote.
You can't vote.
By 3-0 vote, you've been approved. Good
Thank you,
luck.
guys.
Good luck.
I won't let you down.